Hello. It's Tracy Newman here from the Navigators Tarot. So we are going to do a masculine read. We'll see what's going on in the masculine's world at this point in time. As you know, I always talk about the masculine and the feminine presence that lies within each and every single one of us. And we are now coming into balance with those energies, and so we're just kind of like moving away from the whole outer level of masculinity that is now quite confused and not really understanding exactly what is happening within the earth plane, but we shall see exactly what's going on an inner level for the masculine energies that lie within. The magician, becoming the magician of his own life. Now understanding that he has the power to be anything that he chooses to be in his life. The Eight of Air. So the Eight of Air is about feeling trapped. Really interesting. So the magician was in the past. This is now feeling trapped with those masculine energies. But it has to do with the outer presence and the outer authority, which he calls his authority. The masculine has not yet learnt that he has the ability to remove himself from his own cage that he's built up for himself, based on his outer presence and the outer authority, which he deems as real. And of course, it is an illusion, because his inner presence is what is driving him. But of course, he's not looking at that because he's not used to that. He is subjugated. His feminine is also subjugated. His own masculinity in that form. The Three of Air, the message of fire. So the masculine is going through a stage where he is revisiting past. So what's hidden? What's hidden is a certain level of brokenheartedness. And it's like shining a light on that which has caused him pain in the past. Really interesting. So the messenger of fire too is what we have, and what is what his challenge is. So the challenge is to take action upon that which has kept him in this broken-hearted energy. And that is what is keeping him trapped. The fact that he is not able to understand the importance of going back, or not going back, but because the masculine has a habit of going back into the past and staying trapped there. He's not understanding that he needs to take action, because his challenge is to take action on that which has caused him pain in the past. And his challenge is to become not trapped by it, but to heal it. Really interesting. The Chariot in his environment is asking him to move forward. And to do that, he must recognize that he is his own healer, and that he needs to actually also, his advice is to come into union with his feminine within. But it will require a tarot moment for that to happen. And right now, it seems that that broken-hearted energy is keeping him quite trapped. But that, of course, is living in the past, not coming into the future, into the present state, and then not being able to be the magician that creates his own future. Yeah, interesting. Still, there is forward movement. And it is requiring the masculine to have patience with his healing and with his life at this point in time. The Two of Air, once again, No, it's quite stagnant energy. It's not, it's interesting because we have the 2 of air, we have the 3 of air, which is about staying, you know, and the 8 of air, which is about staying trapped in these heartbroken energies, not wanting to move forward, sort of like trying to keep this kind of balance thing happening, very much in his head space, not actually coming down into the heart space. But we do have the Chariot here, and we do have the Messenger of Fire. That is asking him and requiring him to take action on removing the past obstacles to become the magician of his own life. And the Chariot is wanting him to move forward, and that is in the environment. So, and he has the Tower. So what will happen is there will be a Tower moment that will literally come crashing down around his head and will shake him from his lethargy, really, and his non-requirement, if you like, of moving forward, because he's happy to stay in those past energies. However, the Magician and the Chariot and the Messenger of Fire are moving him forward, saying, no, you are the one that can create your own life. You are the one who needs to take the forward steps so that you can heal your life, so that you can move forward into something far greater than you could possibly imagine. So there's quite a lot of fear keeping him back, and that is what is trapping him. His fear, his mental, his mental body is in itself a trap, because it is coming up with every sort of thought that is actually keeping him from moving forward, and is keeping him from opening his heart center and keeping him trapped in that mental body, which is just going around and around and around in circles, which, you know, that's what's keeping him trapped. His own thoughts are keeping him trapped. We have the King of Fire, which is about, once again, stepping into king power and moving forward, and taking action on anything that is keeping him trapped. So masculine energies must move forward and are being directed to move forward. If they don't, there will be a Tower moment that will actually make them move forward, because it is time now. You know, there is no more time. We have the Queen of Water. It's interesting because the general energy, you know, the general energy report also had the Queen of Water, which is about moving into that feminine space of unconditional love, nurturing, giving, and, you know, resilience and loving energies that he needs to move into, and to move out of the head space, to move out of that mental body and into his emotional body and connect to his heart center, which is exactly where he will find that balance with his feminine energies of nurturing, loving, kindness. So in a way, it's about being kind and loving to himself so that he can then move forward into completely different energies of not being trapped, into love, away from the fear that is literally driving him. Once again, we have the Chariot. Moving forward, and the Ace of Fire. So remove all conflict from your life. Move into that higher energy, the higher self energy, which is wanting to come through, which is wanting to manifest a completely new way of looking at things and a new way of being and a new life. So yeah, that's what's going on. So instead of being trapped by fear and thoughts that are just going around and around and past hurt, move into a completely different state of love, away from the fear that is pushing and driving you. Come into a state of balance. That's exactly where we need to be. So communicate with yourself, and yeah, move into abundance. Interesting. The masculine world at the moment is very much in a state of collapse. But we do have this abundance here. But I think with the masculine, it is actually about not recognizing that abundance does not come. It comes from from other sources other than from more like from the financial sector and from that physical material world, you know, and that also is keeping him trapped. It's about moving into your heart center and actually recognizing that abundance comes in many forms, and usually not in the form that we think as it is presented to us. And we have the King of Air and the Nine of Water. I think the masculine is actually, you know, moving out now from that analytical thought process, which is kind of like keeping him trapped in that, not coming down into his heart center. But this is now saying he is moving into a stage of emotional independence, which is very much needed. And that is the truth of who he really is. That is the truth of the original template of and the original blueprint of the masculine. So yeah, he's moving more into that king, those king energies, those, you know, very king-like energies. So yeah, interesting. Anyway, we shall see what goes on for the next week. And once again, moving into those Hierophant energies, higher self, monk-like energies are what is needed right now for the masculine to go within and to really get in touch with the truth of who he really is through his heart center. Okay, so that's all I have for the masculine this week. So there are lots of changes that are going on, and yeah, the masculine is really becoming independent emotionally. So that's a good thing. Just needs to remove himself from the traps that he's set for himself, pretty much. Okay, it's a beautiful day outside. I hope you all have a good week, and I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.